I'm Lalu Beré, and I am the Vice President of Marketing for Fork Farms. I originally grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota, went to college out in Denver in Colorado, and then spent a couple years living in Boston. Along the way, met my husband, who is from Wisconsin, and we decided to move back to the Fox Cities after he finished grad school. I had only ever lived in big cities before this, and so it was definitely a big change. We have family here, so got a little taste of it prior to moving. My perception was life was pretty slow, and that I just wouldn't be as stimulated as I was having lived in bigger cities. I was also, quite frankly, afraid that the population was going to be very homogenous, and being a woman of color, I just felt like I was going to stick out and that I wouldn't build a community or find people who were like me or who appreciated my background and my difference. After the murder of George Floyd, which really affected me and a lot of my peers in the Black community here in the area, I had written off that there were going to be protests in town. And I remember that first weekend when protests were happening all over, a friend of mine texted me and said, "Oh, were you at the protest this morning in Appleton?" And I was just shocked to see how the community rallied around wanting to take a stand against racial injustice. It really made me feel welcomed, like knowing that there were advocates and allies in the community that I hadn't even realized were there. That was a really great moment. You can meet really interesting, really great people, get connected to work that's important or volunteer opportunities that are important, and really find your place and find your way in a way that I never felt like was as easy in a bigger city. You know, I met the founder of Fork Farms through his wife, who I had met through a networking event. So Fork Farms is a startup in the agriculture tech space, and we build hydroponic systems to allow anyone to be a farmer. So hydroponic farming at its most basic is farming without soil. So all you need is water and nutrients that are added to the water to help plants grow. We have built this technology to allow anyone from someone at home to a school district's entire food service operation to grow fresh produce at any time of the year, 365 days a year. Being here in the Titletown Tech building and being one of the startups supported by Titletown Tech, I've come to see how much energy and support and advising and just resources they have provided us at Fork Farms. And it's a testament to the investment that the Packers and Microsoft have come together to make in ensuring the success of startups in this area. I think there is so much opportunity here. There are $5 billion companies just within the town that I live in that I had never heard of, which means there are also tons of jobs that those companies provide. So I think if you're open to learning, this is a really great place to build a career and to anticipate that you have lots of different options as you would grow through your career over time. I've come to really appreciate how the New North is one extended community, and there are things going on in all these different communities that are of interest to me and that are open to me. There are concerts that come through, Broadway shows at the Performing Arts Center. We were able to join a golf club here, which I think would have been a lot less accessible in a bigger city where those things are more expensive. We like to spend a lot of time on the lake. We also love to just eat outside, try different restaurants, anywhere from Oshkosh up to Green Bay, find places that have waterfront and enjoy drinks and food on the patios outside, going up to Door County and enjoying the outdoor weather there in the summer and the winter. We try to spend as much time outside as we can. My favorite thing about living here is I really get to define what our life is like. In a big city, you get really swept up in whatever is in fashion in the moment. And in a smaller town, you have to build that for yourself. If you're considering moving here don't sell this place short right off the bat. If you're willing to give it time, this can be a really phenomenal place to live, and it's definitely worth the investment.